Poland has been on an absolute rampage in recent years. When it comes to defense procurement, the country has been modernizing and expanding its forces by ordering hundreds of tanks, self-propelled artillery, and rocket artillery. In the maritime domain, the nation is investing in new frigates and submarines, among other things. The air domain is no different, with Poland purchasing F-35s, moving to modernize all 48 of its F-16s, and investing in dozens of new trainer jets from South Korea. One crucial air fleet decision remains, however, the acquisition of 32 brand new fighter jets. All signs seem to be pointing to Boeing and its F-15X as the type Poland will acquire. But is this inevitable? Could a shift in broader geopolitics result in a non-American alternative? We examine the country's situation and dilemma for today's video. First up, the situation as of early 2026, a time of making this video with Poland nearing the entry into service of its first F-35A Hussars and plans to begin F-16 modernization in 2028. The country is expected to announce the purchase of 32 new fighter jets sometime in the near future, perhaps even the very near future. In September 2025, the site Breaking Defense reported that any movement on procuring the jets was, quote, on hold until a new long-term capability plan has been approved. This was based on a conversation with Major General Sarikaj, the Deputy General Commander of the Polish Armed Forces. And well, that document actually came out in January 2026, leaving Poland with one less excuse for not yet announcing what fighter jets it will be purchasing. At the same time, Major General Wisniewski said such a purchase could, quote, happen a year from now, 5 years from now, or 10 years from now. I cannot say. So while we might feel a little under pressure to get this video out before a fighter jet is chosen, there's also the reality that this video will remain relevant for a few months. As explained by Breaking Defense, Warsaw has been eyeing 32 additional fighter jets for several years now as part of the Polish Armed Forces air dominance requirement. To date, the aircraft types being mentioned by the media include the Boeing F-15X, the Eurofighter Typhoon, the KF-21BME from South Korea, or even more F-35 as from Lockheed Martin. At least to us, it's unclear if Poland is leaning more in one direction than another, or if increased media reporting for one jet just makes it appear that the F-15X is the front runner. In fact, when it comes to recent news about Poland's impending decision, the jet from Boeing dominates the headlines over its European rival, the Typhoon. In early October 2025, it was reported by Flight Global that officers from the Polish Air Force had visited Boeing's Fighter Delivery Center in the USA to test out the plane maker's F-15EX Eagle II multi-role fighter. The trip to St. Louis included 3 Polish officers, 2 of whom were pilots. One of these pilots was Polish Major General Ron Nowak, a Lockheed Martin F-16 pilot, serving as inspector of the Polish Air Force responsible for modernization initiatives. The demonstration included 2 sorties in the 2-seater F-15EX at speeds over Mach 1.5 at altitudes exceeding 40,000 feet. Major General Nowak was said to have been a passenger during at least one of these flights. The most recent news on this topic that we could find came later in October 2025, when Defense News reported that Boeing was combining its F-15X bid with an industrial cooperation package and the MQ-28 Ghostbat loyal wingman type drone offer. The site quoted Marissa Myers, a senior manager at Boeing, is saying Poland already has MRO capabilities to offer. We have a couple of MOUs already signed with various companies. We're also partnered with local universities. Hopefully we can have a couple more partnerships come out of that. It's said that initial discussions have started between Boeing and Poland on the MQ-28 Ghostbat, an unmanned aircraft hailed as a, quote, most advanced and mature collaborative combat aircraft available in the market. And so it looks like Boeing is trying really hard to put together an offer that Poland simply can't refuse. One that bundles industrial cooperation, F-15X fighters, and MQ-28 drones. As highlighted by Flight Global, the Eagle II's twin-engine configuration gives a massive 13,400 kilogram payload, allowing for 12 air-to-air missiles, all 3 long-range air-to-ground cruise missiles. This aircraft with its lack of stealth is seen as an option that is more complementary to the F-35 rather than a rival. Steve Parker, chief executive of Boeing Defense, Space and Security, told Flight Global in June 2025. The aircraft is inherently unstealthy. So for us, it has a different mission objective. It's really about oversized weapons, payload range, and being complementary to a fighter force. And when it comes to the KF-21 from South Korea, the only news in the past year or so came in July 2025 when Major General Novak flew in the KF-21's backseat during a visit to K's facilities. And again, as we mentioned earlier, when it comes to the Eurofighter Typhoon, there's much less to discuss in terms of recent news concerning Polish interest. And so at least to us, Boeing seems to be winning the marketing and public attention battle at the moment. But is that enough to be chosen by Poland? Obviously not. When it comes to aircraft performance, the F-15 and Typhoon are quite different. We won't get into specifics. But in general, the Typhoon is a more agile aircraft better suited to winning dogfights. Meanwhile, the KF-21 is seen as being a more affordable option and a little more comparable to the Eurofighter than the F-15. The F-15X, on the other hand, is a better jet in terms of payload and weapon capacity, able to carry nearly twice as much as a Typhoon. For performance, it's not so much a question of which jet is better than the other, as it is which jet better suits what Poland is looking for, particularly in terms of complementing its future F-35s and modernized F-16s. We also have to wonder if politics will be a factor in this massive decision. Indeed, it's no secret that U.S.-Europe relations have been tested and strained drastically over the course of 2025 and even into early 2026. As a result, buying American at this very moment is not the wisest move to make politically. That's just one example of the ongoing public discourse on Europe's changing relationship with the US. It was on February 12th that Poland's Prime Minister Donald Tusk declared that his country will never be a VA of the United States while he is in charge. Tusk suggested that opposition-aligned President Karol Nawrocki, an ally of Donald Trump, favors Poland having such a subservient role to Washington. Tusk's exact words were, however, "As long as I am Prime Minister, Poland will not be a vassal in this relationship." Allied relations cannot consist of someone constantly saying yes to everything. As reported by the site Notes from Poland, a recent opinion poll showed the majority of Poles no longer see the U.S. as a reliable ally, something that could influence or perhaps postpone Poland's fighter jet decision until it feels politically safer to buy American. But in terms of buying American, Poland has been quite a big customer in recent years with the purchase of hundreds of M1, A1, and M1A2 Abrams main battle tanks, as well as nearly 100 Apache attack helicopters. There's no doubt that Poland, or at least many in the Polish government, want to remain on good terms with the U.S., especially because there are some 10,000 U.S. troops stationed in Poland as of early 2026. These include the U.S. Army's 5 Corps Forward Headquarters, an Armor Brigade combat team, and an Armor Battalion leading the NATO Forward Land Forces multinational unit in the country. For the simple sake of deterrence and being a tripwire force, the presence of these troops holds great value, and thus great impetus to remain on good terms with the United States. But again, Tusk's remarks and a change in Polish attitudes combined with the growing sentiment that Europeans need to invest more in European defense could really swing things towards a Eurofighter. And then, of course, there's the South Korean option, which may not fully support Europe's defense industry, but fits well with Poland's recent history of buying weapons from the East Asian nation. The KF may 21st represent a better value, while also potentially offering good industrial cooperation like other South Korean arms deals. It's all quite literally and figuratively up in the air at the moment, but we'd love to hear what you have to say on this topic. Will Poland inevitably order F-15s from Boeing? Let us know your thoughts by leaving a comment.